So we can we're welcoming these guys and girls to the flock here on our farm. This is it's a sunny day right here, and we just brought these guys in to our farm over here. And what I want to discuss in this video is how do you properly stock your animals, because one thing you need to understand is pigs are hardy animals and they are also very fragile animals. You see, if you don't do some certain things necessary while handling the animals, you could lose some of them. And that's why you need to understand the right technique to properly stock these guys. They are hardy, but they are also fragile. An experience we had some times back where we were transporting, we wanted to move an animal from a certain place to another certain place. In the process of moving the animal, while the animal was actually in the vehicle, the animal died. And that's why I feel we need to talk about this. So one of the first things you need to do is ensure you transport them in the cool of the day. That means don't transport them in the hot sun, because they have really they don't have sweat glands, and they have they are not very great for sun. They don't like sun that much. They love it. That's why you see many of the times they do, if they are on the outdoor basis, they do stay around where there is mud, so they enjoy those kind of atmosphere. So some things some people do, especially when they're using trucks to transport them, is they used to spray them with water regularly. So but while we were transporting these ones, we didn't have to do that, because we were transporting them in the morning time. So, and we also made sure we paid attention to we hurried, like we were not we did not delay. We made sure we did not have to make any stop. So the car was fueled before parking them, so that we don't have to be branching to a filling station. Now, after bringing them here, of course, one of the most important thing you have to give to them once they arrive, and that's the water. So you see their water is there, and if you could see how they were rushing the water when the water was given to them, they have to first take that as much as possible, because they've gone through a lot of stress. These animals, they tend to shout when they are in distress, and that saps their energy. So you have to give them water. And you can see one of the other things we're doing, where we, even before giving them the feed, we have given them this plantain leaf already before. While we were dropping them, we're giving them the plantain leaf, so that they have something to chew, to enjoy, to feel more calm. So now, right here, you can see we brought them straight to our farm. The reason why we did this is because these stocks are from our other farm. So we are not getting this from a farm that we have to start trying to quarantine or something. But for those of you that may be getting animals from places that you're not very familiar with, which I would not even advise, I would advise you purchase your stocks from reliable sources. But let's imagine you have to get animals from places where you're not very sure of, and you have a farm already with animals in them. My advice to you is that you should always find a place, a location that you can easily put them in there first, then wait for about a week before then moving them to your main flock, so that there is no whatever they are dealing with that will be spilled to other animals on your farm. So now, after doing that, of course, you give them their normal feed. You can see how Their feet are there, they've been eating, enjoying themselves, and they will keep eating that throughout the day. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is that you need to medicate them. Now, the reason for this is that, especially those of you carrying animals from farms that you don't know, please, the medications are very, very important. What's one of the most important medication? Let me state this very clearly. Number one, the levamisole. That's the dewormer. Please make sure you deworm animals you bring to your farm. From experience, I can tell you, I collected some animals from a certain city, and little did I know that those animals are filled with worms. I just discovered that they started being weak and started, I think one died at a point, and then later on I saw two already very weak. So at the moment when they were already very weak and lying on the ground, I then discovered something in their excreta or thereabout. I saw ascaris. You could see the load of worms in these guys. That was so pathetic and so painful. So not every farm do the proper regular deworming. Like these guys now, as you're seeing, they've taken their deworming drug in 30 days. In the last 30 days, they've in short last month. This is a new month. They were dewormed, and that's why you can see that they are converting well. If you can see right here, you can see that these animals are converting well. One of the things that not properly deworming your animal does is that your animals will not convert well, because the worms, as an internal parasite, will be feeding on their food, feeding on them. It's a parasite, and they won't allow your animals to grow well. Now, the other medication you have to use, which I will always advise, is make use of the long-acting injection, long-acting drug. That's the oxytetracycline, the LA. The reason why I would advise this is that you want to ensure that, number one, wherever they are coming from, you don't know whatever they have been dealing with, fever, maybe anything that they may have been dealing with. You want to ensure you don't take chances, so you give them shots of the long-acting injection. Ensure they have that. And then also, one other reason is that where you are bringing them to, it may take them a while to acclimatize to the situation there, and you want them to have enough antibiotics to ensure that any form of contrary maybe situation that may be in that environment, they can fight it easily. So you want to also make sure you give them a long acting. And also, the last but not the least, I would advise is give them the multivitamin. I don't need to overstate the importance of the multivite. Of course, these animals here, they all have great appetite, but in some cases your animals will not be feeding as you want them to. So you give them the multivite, give them shots of the multivite, so that they can feed well, and that can make them to settle in properly, and then they can start their own journey. So those 3 injections I will advise you give to them. So, and then one other thing I will add is that it's very possible that you may not give them immediately you bring them in, like that same day, because of the nature of these animals. You don't want to overstress them. So if you have the time, you may give them some hours later that day, after they have settled their calm. But if you don't have the time that day, you may decide to wait for the next day, then you inject all of them. Alright guys, thank you guys for joining. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.